When it comes to a BDSM scene, preparation is more than practical. It's the artistry behind the experience, the layer of thought that distinguishes a good scene from a truly remarkable one. So if you want to learn the practical steps I use to craft incredible scenes, keep watching, because in this video, I'm giving you the powerful tools that have helped so many of my dominant clients craft incredible play. I always tell my dominant clients that if domination is not fun and fulfilling for you, something's off. Now, hear me carefully. This is not about selfishness or narcissism, but authenticity. If a submissive reads that the dominant is not present or senses an air of obligation or even resentment, like the dominant's just going through the motions for the sake of the submissive, the level of submissive arousal will be dramatically cut short, if not killed completely. And that's why at the heart of every compelling scene is the dominant's fantasy. Now, this fantasy can be anything from a specific reaction or response from the submissive to a particular act or even something deeply personal to the dominant that holds special and nuanced meaning, like your submissive addressing you with a new honorific for the first time, etc. Whatever it is, this fantasy is your roadmap for the scene, a source of inspiration that lights the path you want to take. Additionally, this fantasy doesn't necessarily have to be shared by the submissive. And we're getting into deep layers of DS psychology here, so if that's something that you're into, be sure to check out my Patreon at patreon.com/LXerotica to connect with me and my incredible global community to dive deep into all of these beautiful layers of BDSM psychology. But essentially, part of the arousal for the submissive is not just in the kink or sexual acts, but in the release of submission. In other words, the lack of control is the crux of submissive arousal. This means the less say or influence the submissive has, the better in most cases. So dominants, give yourself the time to relax and fantasize without external stimulation like porn. All right, this is how you build the capacity for more creative play and put the demand on your mind to generate innovative ideas. And I get many questions such as this, asking me to provide scene ideas, etc., and I do from time to time. But erotic intelligence, including the mental control to imagine, fantasize, and generate creative ideas, is a skill that you can build. But you have to theoretically lift the weights. I can't go into the gym and lift the weights for you and expect you to get strong. You have to do the work to build this level of mental control and erotic creativity. And the thought I want you to start with in this exercise is, in my current mood, what would I want with my partner right now? Then close your eyes and see what happens in your imagination. It doesn't have to be long, extensive, drawn out, or detailed. It could be a look, a word, a phrase, a toy. It could be anything. But whatever comes to mind, that's the point from which we start building. Then we're going to attach the fantasy to a specific scene type or theme, like we talked about last week. Is it an exploratory scene where you're trying a new toy or spanking method? Or perhaps it's a sadistic scene because your fantasy is spanking your sub to the point of tears. Your mood guides your fantasy, and your fantasy guides your scene theme. For example, if your mood is a bit cold and detached, and your fantasy centers around your submissive serving as your ottoman, the scene theme, which we discussed again last week, go check that video out, could be a training scene where the training revolves around getting the submissive to hold a specific position as your ottoman, to remain still and strong, and overall master their role as an inanimate piece of furniture for your use. If your submissive forgets to do the dishes as instructed, but you're not really mad about it, You both have been so busy and you're actually feeling quite flirty and wanting to reconnect with your partner. A playful scene would be a great option where you engage in teasing, lighthearted scolding, and punishment you both enjoy surrounding their forgetfulness. Choosing a compatible scene type and theme acts as a guiding force, helping you organize everything around a single emotional or psychological experience. With a clear fantasy and theme in mind, it's time to focus on the ultimate outcome you want from your scene. This goal will also serve as the climax in the story arc of your scene. And in my new Sensational Scenes bundle, you can find my BDSM scene planner, which walks you through this story arc in detail across 6 phases of scene building. You'll also find 5 additional downloads, including my BDSM checklist with 300 kinky acts for you to rank and express your unique interest and experience levels, plus 5 full-length erotic stories to inspire your next scene. Just go over to patreon.com/LXerotica to download this bundle instantly. So again, the goal here should lead you to the climax of your scene, which should include fulfilling this goal and not necessarily any type of release for the submissive. Just because this is the goal or the climax of the scene does not mean it's a climax for the submissive. For example, if you're planning a cathartic scene, the end goal for you as the dominant might be an emotional release for the submissive, where they fall to their knees and bathe your feet in their tears. In a punishment scene, your goal might be to correct behavior and experience genuine remorse from the submissive. Either way, being clear on your scene goal helps create a highly focused and rewarding arc, ensuring both partners get what they need from the experience. With your end goal in mind, start sketching a mental storyline for your scene. Imagine how it will unfold from the initial scene cue to the climax and the resolution. While some scenes demand a strict framework, such as training or punishment scenes, others, like exploratory or playful scenes, benefit from a bit of flexibility. It's also important on this mental storyboard to identify any potential areas of hesitance, resistance, or potential sticky spots, and not the good kind, in your scene. This is why knowing yourself and your submissive and the type of play you will engage in is paramount. Consider what obstacles might arise. How will you work around them in a confident and calm way in order to maintain your scene flow? This framework shouldn't be too detailed, but it should include setting the tone, introducing activities, shifting intensities, cooling down, and closing into aftercare. Think of it like setting up chapters, with each section flowing naturally into the next. This framework helps keep you focused on your goal, while leaving enough flexibility to adapt based on how your submissive responds in real time. So go to patreon.com/LXerotica to download my BDSM scene planner in my new Sensational Scenes bundle for a step-by-step guide across the 6 phases of a scene arc. Now, you want to curate your tools to match the scene type and goal. And I want you to think of this like putting together a gift basket.
These gift baskets are a ticket back into their lives.
You want compatible, on-theme items that fit the scene's tone and goals. A punishment scene might benefit from tools like bondage gear and 3 of your sub's most loathed implements, while a more erotic scene with a focus on sensory play might call for silk ties, feathers, or wax candles. The key here is to avoid the temptation to overload, all right? And I run into this a lot with my new dominants, where they're so keen to give this submissive a mind-blowing experience, they feel they must use half of their arsenal and somehow weave all of these different tools and types of play together. No, that's not what you want to do. You're going to overwhelm yourself. The scene isn't going to feel like it flows well together. Don't go there. Selecting too many toys can detract from the focused experience you're aiming to create. Because at that point, it's almost like the toys become the direction for the scene instead of using the appropriate toys at the most powerful moments to serve the direction you have already set as the dominant. Big difference there, big strategy shift there. Just choose a few complementary items that serve your scene theme and goal, and get to know them well. Not every toy needs to make an appearance in every scene. The power of the scene lies in its purpose, not in the quantity of tools. All right? So finally, you want to create an inviting play space. Now, the space you choose doesn't have to be extravagant, but it should reflect the atmosphere you want to create. First of all, clean your room, honey. All right? Dust, vacuum, mop, clean the carpet. All right? Your space should be clean and hygienic. It's also important that your space be free of distractions. If you're using your bedroom, simple acts like clearing off the nightside tables and dressers and removing family photos from the wall can be a powerful visual and mindset shift. You also want to consider sensory elements such as lighting, music, and scents. Mood lighting, such as soft lamps dimmed in red tones, can set the whole mood for your scene. A seductive aroma from candles or essential oils can add another beautiful sensory layer. Even how your toys are arranged can make a difference. Laying them out carefully on a nearby table can add to the anticipation and sense of ceremony. Even if your play space must return to vanilla in the morning, it's an essential part of setting the mood, so give it the attention it deserves. By following these 6 steps, you create more than a scene. You craft an experience with thoughtfulness and intention. Because scene prep is more than just logistics. It's the act of preparing yourself and your partner for an encounter that's as meaningful as it is thrilling. So get all the practical tools you'll need to craft incredible play in my new Sensational Scenes bundle, including my new BDSM scene planner and checklist and BDSM limit list with 300 kinky acts for you to incorporate into your play. Just go over to patreon.com/LXerotica to get instant access to this amazing new bundle. And be sure you're subscribed and have those notifications turned on, because next week I'm giving you the powerful steps to executing an effective scene while staying in flow.